Hello everyone! In this video we're going to talk about functions. So to begin with, functions may seem like a very complex thing to you, but in fact they're really easy once you get the hang of it. Functions are a reusable block of code. So basically when you define a function, you can pretty much use it anywhere in your code by just calling the function. I mean, if functions weren't there, you would probably have to write the same piece of code over and over and over and over again until either the requirement ends or you get bored out of your mind writing the same lines of code repeatedly. To summarize, functions are a great help to everyone. So what are functions? Well, functions are a block of code which is organized and reusable, used to perform single related actions, makes the code more readable and less redundant, and of course they're very useful. And if you think you've never ever used a function before, think again. Remember from the very first Hello World program, we have been using a function. And you guessed it, no points for guessing though, the print function. Also, we've used the type function to find out the type of a particular thing. So functions like print and type are called predefined functions. Of course, there's a lot more functions, like the int, input, len, min function, max function, sum function, and so on. So all of these you see on the screen are predefined functions. That means you can directly use them. So congratulations, you know a lot more about functions than you think you do. You can of course find more predefined functions in the Python docs. Do check them out once. Now, we'll see how we can define our own functions. Well, here's the syntax. It's very easy. You have to use the keyword def, D-E-F, for define. Well, it's short for define. And after that, you write the name of the function along with round brackets. And the name of the function can be anything. Just keep in mind the rules and end the line with a colon. And do not forget the colon. I repeat, do not forget the colon. Hit enter and type the things that you want the function to perform. Oh, and of course, in the round brackets after the name of the function, you can include arguments or parameters, whatever you want to call them. Now, let's see an example. So def, which is our keyword, which defines functions, and then hello world function. So this is the name of my function, hello world, F-U-N-C-T, however you want to pronounce that. What it's basically going to do is it's going to print out hello world to the screen. It's the easiest function you could probably write, you know. So we've written out the function, and this is called as function declaration. Now, let's see how we'll call the function and make it execute. All we have to do is write the name of the function along with the round brackets and hit Shift Enter. And as you can see, it printed out hello world to the screen, which it was supposed to do. So that was the very basic function. So from this, we can understand that this is our function declaration, and this part is our function call. Now here, I've defined a function which is called max of 2, which takes 2 arguments, num1 and num2, and prints out the larger of the 2 numbers. Now inside the function declaration, we've defined the function using some if, elif, and else statements. So basically, I've considered 2 variables, parameters or arguments. So this function will be dealing with these 2 variables. Inside the function, I've put some if, elif, and else statements. You can probably figure these out if you watch the if and elif or the conditional statements video in the playlist before, or even if you haven't, you'll probably be able to figure out what this is doing. It's comparing the two numbers and accordingly giving us the result. What the if statement is saying is that if num1 is greater than num2, then print out the first number. So basically, the number we passed as an argument, or the first number we passed as an argument, if it's greater than the second number we passed as an argument, then print out number 1. Similarly, the elif block prints or checks the condition that if num2, or the second parameter, is greater than the first parameter, and accordingly prints out the second number. And if both of these conditions are false, obviously the else statement is going to be executed. And of course, obviously both the numbers are going to be equal. So let's try using these test cases. Let's try running these test cases. As you can see, the first result gives 7 as our answer, which is correct because, well, 7 is greater than 5. The second function call is telling Python to compare 13 and 10. Of course, 13 is greater than 10, and so 13 is printed out to the screen. And the third case, where all the numbers, or both the numbers are equal, it prints out both numbers are equal. So basically what's happening here is that the first number that we pass as an argument is assigned to the num1 variable in the function, and the second number is assigned to the num2 variable in the function, and the rest of the block is executed using num1 and num2. Now, if you notice, we were able to compare two numbers 3 times really quickly just by typing one line that is our function call. Imagine if you had to type the same lines of code that is this part of the code again and again 3 times, or maybe even more than that. That would just be a disaster, and you would probably get bored out of your minds. At least I would. And that is precisely why functions are so important in any programming language. Now over here, I've written one more example of a function which says hi with the name of the person. The name of the person is taken from the user using our input function, which is already predefined in Python, and whatever the user inputs is assigned to the name variable over here. And the second line of code says to print out hi along with the name and an exclamation mark. So whatever name value is assigned in the first line is going to print it out in the second line. So let's see how this works. So it's asking me to enter your name, so I'm just going to say ABC. And when I enter ABC, you'll notice it says, hi, ABC. So it's taking input from the user and saying hi. Let's enter another name. Let's say PQR. And it says, hi, PQR. So whatever name we input, it says hi and the name. Are you starting to see the power of functions in a programming language now? Well, I hope you are. And I guess that's it for this video. And I hope you understood how important functions can be in a programming language. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.